Guys, this is a major update. YieldMax has just introduced brand new ETFs. There are three of them. And these ETFs, they are going to be a game changer. They are different. And they're going to have a better performance than any other ETFs you have seen. And I have evidence of that. You can see here, first time about a year ago, they introduced this ETF, which is called Biggie. This is called YieldMax Target 12. And you can see this is one of the only YieldMax ETFs. There are three of them right now that they don't have NAV erosion. Check this, since inception has returned about 1975 since it came out. When did it come out? If we look at the date that it came out, was incepted November 20th, 2024. And if you look at the NAV, net asset value right now is 52. That means since it came out, it has not gone below its price. So these two ETFs that they just introduced today, they're pretty much the same as this one, but there's a little difference. I'm going to show you what difference. So before I go into details on those three ETFs that they just introduced, let me show you weekly distributions for fund of fund or group 1. And we know group 2, which MSTY is part of it, is going to be announced tomorrow. So today they announced the distribution that was going to be paid on Thursday for Chappy, Fate, FIVI, GPTY, LIFG, QDTY, RDTY, SDTY, Salty, ULTY, YMAG, YMAX. So how much they're going to pay? For Chappy is only 42 cents, 39 cents for FIVI, 27 cents, GPTY 30 cents, LIFG 38 cents, QDTY 34 cents, RDTY 44 cents, SDTY 25 cents, Salty 77 cents, ULTY is going to pay 6 cents, YMAG 9 cents, and YMAX 13 cents. For ULTY, this is one of the lowest they have ever paid. Remember last time they paid a little bit above this. So again, as the ETF price comes down, implied volatility of course becomes lower, and the yield and distributions become even lower. Right now ULTY is at $4. So if ULTY keeps falling, and let's say for example it goes to $3, $3.80 or something like that, then you would expect next distributions might go as lower as 5 cents. But the yield it's a little bit higher, and that's because the price is very low. So the yield you're getting about 81% per year. And when it comes to ROC or return of capital, 100% of this time distribution will come from return of capital. So that's it for that. So the three ETFs that have been launched, first is MSST. This is MicroStrategy. The price is at 53.14. It went down a little bit after hours, seems to be going up. The volume is very little, and of course we'd expect this because these are brand new ETFs and not many people know their existence at all. They just came out today. The second ETF here is NVIT, and this is 49.25. It went down a little bit. As you can see here, the volume is about 8,595. The third ETF that came out is TEST, and the price is at 49.66. And after hours, it goes up. The volume was only 1,196. So the highest volume of these three was Nvidia. And we know the reason why, because Nvidia has been coming down. So a lot of people would see that as opportunity to pick some shares. But now let's go to details about these three ETFs. Here is a news release. YieldMax launches new fund family focused on growth plus income, performance and distribution target 25 ETFs. So the 25 here represent a 25% yield. And I'm going to show you why this is very crucial. We're going to look at what other ETFs that have the same target 25 have done in the past. I've shown you a little bit Biggie, and we have Renty. Those are two ETFs that are in existence right now, and of course these three ETFs will be a little bit different. So the other ones are more of a fund of fund, and this one will be more of individual stocks. As you can see here, there is a MicroStrategy, there is a Nvidia, and there is a Tesla. So the details about this ETF, as I've mentioned before, they literally just come out today. YieldMax has announced today, November 18. YieldMax ETF is thrilled to announce the expansion of its growth and income fund lineup with the launch of a new fund family, the YieldMax Performance and Distribution Target 25 ETFs. The fund seeks to generate consistent weekly income based on 25% target annual distribution level while providing participation in the performance of individual underlying reference stock. So reference stock, of course, is MicroStrategy stock or strategy, and it would be Nvidia stock and it would be Tesla stock. So how are they going to invest in these three ETFs and what's their strategy? Here is overview: MSST, NVIT, and Tesla. Actively manage ETF that seeks to generate cash distribution targeting a 25% annual distribution level while providing investors with indirect exposure to the share price of the underlying reference stock. The main important word in this paragraph is indirect exposure. These are not going to have direct ownership of the underlying stock. They are single stock ETFs that will have synthetic call options, as they usually do with other single stock ETFs. The annual 25% target. The fund seeks to generate 25% target annual distribution level by selling or writing option contract on its synthetic long positioning share of the underlying stock. Depending on the advisor's outlook, the advisor will employ one or more option strategies that it believes will allow the fund to best achieve its 25% target annual distribution level while seeking to capture a portion of underlying stock's potential price appreciation. By strategically entering and exiting options positions, the advisor seeks to enhance the fund income potential. So this is their main strategy, that they're going to sell right option contract, and they're going to switch based on the manager sentiment, how he feels about how he will better generate that 25% target. Because it's only 25% annual yield, this is very achievable for these type of ETFs. Distribution schedule: these three ETFs will be paying weekly income, and they will be paying every Monday. And the fund's first distribution is expected to be announced on December 1st, 2025. This day will be Monday. So I think they're going to announce that day and maybe paying the following Monday, I believe so, which will be Monday 8th. So that's when you're expecting your distribution. So if you buy today, you have long ways to go before you will be getting your first distributions. As I have mentioned earlier, these three ETFs will be added to another lineup of target 12 ETFs. The first one they had was Biggie, Renty, and Soxy. And the three that they just announced will be another lineup of the target 12 ETFs. But as you can see, these would have different strategy, because these ones are more of fund of funds. They target 12, yes, but they have underlying stocks. For example, Biggie has more of the big tech companies. Rent is more of course, real estate companies, and Soxy is more of tech and crypto companies, I believe. I made a video on all these ETFs when they came out, but these three here, yes, they're target 12, but their strategy will be a little bit different than these ones here, because I do believe they have some synthetic call option on them, but also they do have direct ownership. But this one will be pretty much synthetic, and they're only going to be one stock ETF. So it's a different, as I say, it's going to be a game changer. And the main reason why is because if I look at the other performance of a stock like a Biggie, and we know that it does not have NAV erosion, and because they're only targeting about 25%, that's very easy to achieve. If you look at the ETFs that they have, especially single stock ETFs or fund of funds like ULTY, YieldMax, they pay, the lowest is about 50%. They usually pay between 80% to 120%. In case of MSTY, at one point it was even 200%. Let's look at the Renty. We can see here it has returned about only 5%, but this one came out a little bit later. But as you can see here, the NAV is still at 49. So when it come out around 50, with all the distributions, you haven't really lost anything. Soxy, here you can see since it came out, it has return of 37%, and the NAV, which is the price, is $57.69, almost $58. And remember, it came around $50. And when did it come out? It came out December 2nd, 2024. So this ETF has been out for less than a year, and it has a great performance, and there's no NAV erosion. Because of these three ETFs, I'm thinking that the three ETFs that they just introduced, MSST, MVIT, TEST, will have better performance as compared to these YieldMax single stock ETFs or these fund of funds. But that's just my assumption. And my assumption is based on the fact that they have other target 12 ETFs and they have been performing well. And also because the distribution that they are targeting is very low. And I do believe that's very easy to achieve without having to take a huge risk. And because of that, I call these three ETFs a game changer single stock ETFs that YieldMax has introduced. So what do you think about this ETF? Are you excited? Are you going to buy these ETFs? Let me know in a comment below. If you don't want to miss any of the important updates for this channel, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you find value in this video, smash the like button. And one more thing, don't forget to share with a friend of yours so they can also be in the loop and be updated on the income ETFs. So thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.